Whoops. Greetings and welcome back. I almost ended the stream before we even began. It was kind of exciting. Let me unmute everybody before I forget. I have this wonderful glow about me. No, it's just sweat. It is like 32 in the van right now. I turned down the fan so that the microphone's not picking up. But oh my Lord, is it hot. These guys are lucky that I'm not going Bigfoot style. And you guys are lucky I'm not going Bigfoot style because it is hot in here. I'll tell you what. But anyway, how you guys doing? How's it going, Sully?
I'm doing fine. Here right. It is 4 degrees Celsius. I think you said it was 30 something Celsius.
Just in the van. In the van, it's 32 Celsius.
Yeah. So outside is 4, but inside is 23 at the moment.
Yeah. Let me adjust this slightly so the. Okay. All right. There we are. That's a little bit better. Balance out for everybody. How's it going there, Ivan?
Pretty good. We finally hit a day where I needed to fire up the AC today. Right. It's not running right now, but tomorrow is actually going to be hotter, and I'll have to run it again.
Yeah, it's actually been hot and sunny. In fact, it was so hot and sunny, I actually got a chance to cook some cookies in the solar oven yesterday to give that a test. Nice. And then I ate them all. This was the problem with me making cookies.
All for me.
But they were good, and it worked pretty well. And I made some good observations and how to cook them best and things like that. But yeah, I was able to bust out the solar oven for only like the second or third time since I've had it, because I'm in Pennsylvania right now, and you just don't see that mystical glowing orb in the sky. No. But curiously, though, the solar kettle works really well, even when it's not perfectly sunny. So I've actually boiled a lot of water with the solar kettle. That's kind of fun. Basically, fill it up, open the thing up, and it'll just collect sun rays from everywhere. It's kind of fun. But yeah, it's been hot, and I am just happy tomorrow is scheduled to be like, I don't know, I didn't check the temperatures, but it's cloudy tomorrow, and that's good. It's been so sunny. My batteries have been topped off every single day completely, to the point where my charge controller shuts down the solar panels. It's like, no more. So it's like, but yeah, that does happen. Not sure where Dan is. Where'd Dan go? All right.
I know.
That's fine. He's occasionally needs to take a day off, so it's good.
Yeah.
All right. Steven Anderson's on the comments. How's it going there? Jeffrey, hello there. We need battle. What we need are kitten tanks, and Putin doesn't stand a chance. I'm telling you. I am parked next to a tank right now, and I'm not in Ukraine, but I am parked next to a tank. It's kind of fun. There's a tank and then a converted ProMaster. So I'm in strange places. What can I say? But anyway, Earth is hell. Okay. We're getting that way. We are indeed getting that way. I did actually confirm right before the stream. If you guys remember the article from a while back, and there was some discussion. Does this have it? Does this not have it? Government's kind of, oh, no, of course not. Well, it has been absolutely literally confirmed today that yes, the United States government is using some of those taxes that we paid out and actually giving crack pipes to people. So at least our crack addicts will have some clean pipes to smoke some crack. And yes, so ties right on into Earth is hell. I agree with you, Sam. Let's see. Why are you acting like a moderator? Hey, if you keep saying that, I might just make a moderator.
Yeah, I think he was talking to me on that one.
Oh, okay. You? Were you over there talking?
Yeah. I'm the Anchorage.
You're the Anchorage. Okay.
Yeah, just give me a heads up. Hey, we're starting up soon.
Okay, all right. Well, in that case, why are you being a moderator? Because you are! All right. Let's see. Uh-oh. I just gave the band hammer to somebody crazy. About time NVIDIA. Yeah, we'll get into the news of the day. Thanks, Salbu, for sending it out to me. And then, of course, right after you sent that out to me, I got it in my regular news feeds as well. So, And for the record, Alan Pope did tweet before I put together my title about hell freezing over. I didn't steal it from him. I just came up with the idea as well. And then I saw when I went to post the video, to post the link for the video, Alan Pope posted basically the same thing earlier. So I didn't steal it from me. I didn't steal it from him. And he did post it first. I posted it second. But I didn't see the tweet until my thumbnail was done. But my thumbnail was awesome, and I was not going to change it. We got a penguin with an assault rifle shooting at the devil on a glacier. What else do we want in a thumbnail? Yeah. What's with the little demon guys? This channel I'll switch to VSD. No, it's the devil. There's a penguin sniping the devil in hell that froze over. Come on. You didn't get the joke. Yeah. 90F. Yeah, is that 90F? Is that what the temperature I'm in? Oh, yeah. 69F and raining here. Yeah, it's not 90F outside. It's like it's 82 outside, but in a van it tends to get, it like concentrates heat. And I didn't put the back shades up on the van as early as I should have today. I actually have some back shades, so if I park with the sun coming in the back windows and then I have insulated back shades, that actually keeps it nice and cool. But when you forget to do it, there's not much you can do to cool it down. But it is evening now, so hopefully I will not melt into a puddle of sweat. But I might need to grab a towel soon. And I might need to soak it with a little bit of water. Deal AMD has open source, NVIDIA. Yeah, and that's been the consensus, but at least when NVIDIA, hey, better to show up like as the party's closing than never at all. And so now it means that we will potentially eventually be able to start using NVIDIA more easily. It's been possible for those that have wanted to run it. But we'll see. AMD drivers now built into the kernel. We'll get into some of that. So using Power Color Red Dragon. All right. Debian will take a whole decade package. Cumber fan, was it you that we were going to trade some SwitchedTolinux merch for a graphics card, or was that somebody else? I've not forgotten. It's just been crazy. And if that is you and the deal is still on, I will go ahead and chat with you soon. I think I have your email, so we'll correspond. Crashes on screen grabs. No onboard sound for video productions. Video crashes more than NASCAR race. Uh-oh. You are overheating. Drop the hat. Come on, man. Drop the hat? I look like a crazy person. No, I will not drop the hat. I will rather die of heat exhaustion.
About what Jon said about Debian and taking a decade. Most likely they will make a package fairly quickly, but it takes a few years from adding it to the seed and then making it into a stable release. So,
yeah, the admin beard level is improving. All right, guys. So I need some thoughts on the beard here. All right, so. Part of me loves being the crazy looking mountain man, but there are actually times when I go to like conferences and have to sort of look like a reasonable human being that's not about to kill you. And so should I trim it down and make it look all prim and proper, or should I be like, just kind of look like a Neanderthal thug that just meandered out of the woods? Because I probably just did. Let me know in the comments. But I did get another compliment. The beard is a compliment factory. I was at an Aldi's today, and the clerk at Aldi's like, respect the beard. One day I wish to have one like that. I'm like, all right, man. And like a little 8th grader or something complimented the beard a couple weeks ago. I'm walking down the street. You got an awesome beard. Look at this dude's beard. It's awesome. I'm like, really? All right. Anyway.
I remember, I think it's 9 years ago now, when I got to know this woman. We are still friends today, but after I met her, a couple of weeks later, I shaved my beard and then she commented when she talked about this to someone that it made him look worse. So.
Yeah, Ivan's got the fairly trimmed up there. See, look at that.
Yeah, like a year ago, though, it was long like Tom's is right now. And I had a couple of points where I actually had to get rid of it all and start over from nothing. And, of course, I did that, and folks around here would look at me, and like my son, he looked at it, and he just starts grinning. And I'm like, what's up? He's like, you look like a boy.
Yeah, that's the thing. If I want to go get carded or something, I just need to shave the beard off, because the beard literally adds a lot of years to my life. Apparently, I don't know.
Hey,
Just
same here.
shows in the gray hair, man. Grows in the gray hair. But anyway.
So about but there's possible to trim the edges and make it look nicer without going as short as.
Yeah. So should I go more Ivan or more Stallman with the beard? I mean, Stallman's good. I mean, I could work on my flexibility too and chew on some toenails while we're streaming here.
Yeah, and then you can do. Stallman has it is a bad habit, but he has a habit of sometimes when he talks, he likes to he does things with his beard just because it's itchy sometimes, and you can't help it, and so then you can.
Yeah,
I
get it combed occasionally. I got the comb nearby, and I just comb it.
Yeah.
Fun. Razzle reviews halfway down his chest. I can't picture with your beard halfway down your chest.
Going ZZ Top.
Yeah, there you go. Well, my mother's boyfriend is very ZZ Top. He literally has a beard down to his waist.
Oh.
And sometimes it is braided. Sometimes it is just kind of wrapped up. It's like it puts Gandalf to shame.
Nice.
It's kind of fun. All right, enough of this beard talk. Let's. I need the fat belly. I'm trying not to have the fat belly, but I did eat a bunch of cookies today. So, and I didn't run today either. I've been trying to get back into running. It was just too hot. Literally, it's like, okay, I'm not going to run. I'm going to die of heat stroke if I do. And so. Yeah, I didn't run today. Anyway, let's go ahead and get on into our topic because indeed hell did seem to freeze over. NVIDIA is slowly moving towards open source. Now, it's not pure, full-fledged open source quite yet, but hey, it is a step in the right direction. They are releasing kernel modules. Now, I am not as familiar with how all of the interfacing work. Maybe one of you guys can explain it a little bit better. My understanding would be the kernel modules are what would have to interface, kind of like the plug. Sorry, I was a toxicologist. Plug that goes into the receptor for the drivers. That's kind of the way I'm envisioning it. Is that correct? Do you guys know for sure?
I don't know for sure, but from the way I understand is that it's almost kind of like, we're doing a little bit at a time. Everywhere that I've seen, they've talked about, that it's going to be starting for GPUs in data centers and then coming out forward like that.
Yep.
And of course, I think of like, well, let's say a hard game gamers, it's like for them, they're going to be like, great, as long as it's in there, stuff like that. But then they're like, well, when can I get my control panel or my GeForce experience and stuff like that? And then you got the other ones that are just kind of like, need more FPS, dude.
Yeah, just give me the basics. Don't care about your subscription crap.
Right.
Salvo, do you understand the driver and module connectors as much?
Somewhat, because the old way of doing it is one of the stern criticism that they have gotten, including from the kernel developers, that they are, especially from the free software conservancy, the licensing enforcement group, that they are building a kernel module that is compiled into the kernel. And the argument is that this might actually be a copyright infringement because of the language of the license and this, so on. So what they have done is that the part of the driver that is compiled into the kernel is released as free software, whereas the rest of the driver is still closed source. But this will help the Novia project, and NVIDIA says that in the blog post that they released, that this will benefit. We will also benefit that. So something has changed inside of NVIDIA.
Yeah, so basically, you have a couple different components here, and the one component that can be open source entirely is moving slowly into the kernel. Now, to be clear, NVIDIA can be used on most, probably all Linux distributions. It's not open source. Sometimes it can be a pain to install. It just kind of depends on what you're doing. So with that, what they're doing is they're slowly rolling this out to make it easier and more convenient and eventually be built into Linux at its core, like AMD drivers tend to be. And so that's kind of what the direction is, but it's going to be a long phased process. So,
and they say that in either in the blog post or in the GitHub repo, I have looked at both, and they say that currently it is not a candidate for including in the kernel tree because of how the file structure is in the module. So they plan to make it suitable for putting it upstream into the kernel tree, and then they don't have to have a separate repo and so on. So,
yeah. So what this basically means, we're going to slowly start getting a lot of support. And if you need the support more quickly, Arch always moves a little bit faster. You're going to get faster support there. About, as we said, 20, 30, 40 years, maybe Debian might include it. But you can still run the proprietary drivers. So right now, you'd have to install everything as proprietary blobs. But pretty soon, they're going to have portions that are non-proprietary open source and portions that are proprietary. And then eventually they're going to roll on and put everything in there. So that is an amazing direction. Now, what does this mean? It doesn't mean that you should all start running out and buying, preferring NVIDIA over AMD if you plan to run Linux, because you're going to run into the problem that this is going to take a long process to filter out. Any idea, Salbu, how long that was going to take? Did it mention?
It depends on because there's still the fact that it's two. They are splitting it into two parts. One part is the kernel module, which is separate now, and then there is the binary component that is still closed source that no one knows how to debug and so on. So you're still going to have weird issues and hardship of installing and manual installing and so on. So for those of us who care about free software, you should still stay away from NVIDIA cards until everything is free software. So yeah. It will take a few years still.
Yeah, absolutely. So the good news is that means that we will eventually start moving in a direction that it will not make a difference which one you want to go with, or you can choose your preference. As of now, for the FOSS only crowd, you're still going to stick with AMD. But hey, we have to praise positive direction where we see positive direction.
I was about to say that Louis Rossmann has this. He still says this when Apple or some company does things in a good way. We should recognize this, and NVIDIA has done a step in the right direction, which is commendable.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And maybe their structure is maybe an indication. Maybe they've wanted to possibly go open source a while back and couldn't because of structures. Who knows? There's a lot of factors. Yeah. The Anchorage comment.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, and there's going to be situations where, utilizing it won't be optional, stuff like that, such as this guy right here. This is an Atari VCS, which is Linux based, and but the thing is that it's only this big. You can't fit an NVIDIA card in there. Not even if you open crack off the air cooler and break it all down and just get the actual card. There's no room in there for that, and there's no option for it because it does use a Ryzen processor. It's like a 1606G, I think. But it uses the onboard Vega graphics that are in the chip. Yeah. It's an SoC. So it's just like, there's instances where you can't use those drivers that are being opened out. Yeah, so that's the thing. I was at a used movie and game store the other day, and I saw an Atari 2600 there, and they had it priced like $89.99. I'm like, why is that not under $50? I'm offended. Right. Yeah. Any of the old people will get that one. Under $50. It's $49.99. It was more than $50 once you get tax.
He's lying.
That thing must have been sparkling like a new car.
He has a fascinating store. They had old Nintendos and they had old games, all sorts of fun stuff. It's a cool store. You go in there and tell them a movie and they probably have it. It's kind of a neat place. But anyway, anything else we want to talk about on this, or is it just kind of a short topic stream because I'm about to melt? I don't know.
So it will be interesting to see what happens next. And I don't think, but I disagree with the point that this structure is what was hindering them from going open source, because they own the source code, and regardless of the structure, if they really wanted to open source it, they could just publish everything on a GitHub repo like they did with the kernel module. And an important project like this, if the kernel guys got all of the source code, even if it was in a wrong format, they could fix it rather quickly and get it included. And then NVIDIA just had to pull from the kernel tree and work on that.
Yep.
So
yeah, I mean, I was just trying to be nice and diplomatic, but I knew I was going to be wrong. But yeah, that's true. They've always just and you know, to be honest, they have always resisted. I mean, Linus is like, hey, whoa, wrong button. Linus is always like, yeah, we'll help you get help. And, oh no, we're not going to open source it. Now, okay, here's the other thought. Here's a question. Do you think they started to open source it because of those guys that busted in there and be like, we're going to send everything out if you don't open source it? Do you remember that hack a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I remember that, but it's a weird coincidence. So
yeah, so is this a weird coincidence, or is this maybe they got something else they don't want released?
Yeah, almost kind of like backed into a corner. Almost kind of like people are starting to do something about it. So, if we want to CYA, it's like, let's back up. Let's start opening this up and kind of drive them away by doing this.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's begin the process. And then when all those guys are in 30, 40-year prison sentences for their crimes, we're going to go ahead and close it all up again.
Yeah.
Die Master says, turn on the AC in the cab. With the gas prices, are you insane? I'd rather melt.
No, right?
Like, diesel fuel literally went up. Over $1 a gallon in like 1 week. It was crazy because I was getting low in heater fuel, so I topped off my tank. I'm like, I'm just going to go refill this when I go to town. Like, I ain't refilling it right now. Yeah. Unfortunately, right now it's so hot, I do not perceive I'm going to need to turn on the heater for at least a few months. So I'll probably turn it on just to run it a little bit, but that's about it.
And that's good.
And for those that have asked,
in Norway, diesel fuel, and in my area, is $2.35 per liter.
A liter, okay. That's not too far from $6 a gallon. We're like $6.25 ish. So yeah,
and it used to be only $1.8 per liter. So.
Yeah. I was gonna say for those that were curious, I did actually see the heater model that I have on Amazon the other day through my recent purchases. It is a 5 kilowatt heater for those who are interested. So my heater system is a 5 kilowatt forced dry air diesel heater is what I'm running. I think we've kind of exhausted our thing here, so I guess we can just kind of hang out and chat for a little bit, I guess. That's kind of cool, which is good for me. For those follow the Christian channel, there is no Christian stream tonight. I'm just taking a day off, and I'm really not really taking a day off, but getting caught up on work. I still have this giant list of things, and I did have to turn down a project, but who knows? If you happen to be an authorized.net programmer, send me an email. We have a job that needs done. It's fairly small, but it's like I was looking at the documentation. It's like, you know what, this exceeds my hour budget because I'd have to learn too much, and frankly, I don't care to use authorized.net. But if you know about authorized.net, I'd like to hear from you. Let me know. I have some projects. Yeah, so that's kind of how my day's been. This week, though, has been way better than last week. Last week was crazy. This week was a little bit more relaxed, so it's good. Browser Review has a new server that will run entirely on Ryzen. Very cool. Solar-powered AC. Yeah, that is something I would like to investigate a little bit better. I did actually see another van dweller in the park the other day, but their doors and stuff are closed, and van dwellers with doors closed, the general protocol is you don't bother them. If I had seen the actual people, I would have asked them about their efficiencies, how they like it, and things like that, but I didn't. Yeah, I've seen a few van dwellers around town, and I've seen a few guys that unfortunately were pushed into their vehicles to live. Also, you can kind of tell the difference. The van dwellers who chose this lifestyle have really cool rigs, and the other guys generally sit in old minivans, and their whole dashboard is full of Pepsi. And they look like they've been beat with an ugly stick. But yeah, anything else for anybody?
Yeah, nothing from me.
All right, are we gonna have a short stream? We should just keep going. We should talk random stuff. Let's see if there's any comments that I missed.
Yeah, so one new thing that happened here during the last week is I ordered 2 weeks ago a new UPS system. Because the one that I used, I have two UPS systems. I have one in the basement that runs my two main servers. And then I have 3 computers and 2 screens up here, in addition to the DSL to the fiber modem.
Is it going to be delivered by UPS?
We don't have UPS in this country.
Oh, okay. What's the power specs on it?
It is it's a PowerWalker 1200 VA.
Okay.
So it's 220 watts. It's what we use here.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the.
I had the old one that I had to stop using for a year or so ago. It was a 700 VA something, and it had when I used it, the average load was about 75% of capacity. And it would hold it would hold the power, the backup power for about 4 minutes. Mm-hmm. This one, which is only twice as big, holds the power for 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. And once a few days after that, I set it up. I woke up and I was going to, because I have a portable computer, small old laptop that I connected to my network, just to see what the power usage was before I turned on my screen and activated the DJ cards and so on. And it could hold the power for 17 minutes until I turned on my screen. So.
Yeah. All right. So the air conditioners I'm seeing are into the $1,000-$1,500 range. Probably not something you're going to get anytime soon, especially since there's really only a small handful of days that get this hot in the van. And usually on a day like this, what I would do is I would go out into like the woods or somewhere out of the way where I can actually open up the door. But I had so many things to do in town today, and that's kind of why it got hot. If I can open up the door and just run the fan, it'll actually cool down to air temperature really fast. So, but yeah, the 12-volt air conditioners for the roof, that is something I'll investigate in the future, I'm sure. Or if I do another van build, because right now I have a Max Air fan, so that works pretty good.
Speaking of vans, there was an article in one of the Norwegian papers yesterday, I think, about the portable motorhome, I think you call it, ran off the road. It didn't tumble or anything, but just running off the road. This was bought in the factory condition. It just crumbled. Everything but the main bottom frame was just in shambles.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and the reason is that these motorhomes, they don't have the same safety requirements as normal cars or big rigs. So a lot of the framing is wood panels.
Yeah.
So the Swedish road authority had a test 3 or 4 years ago about the two most popular models, and the conclusion was that there was a 70% risk of dying in any collision. So
I see this comment here. I heard when it gets hot, it's good to drive to Vegas where it's hotter. I know, right? It's like
Yeah.
I think I commented on a live stream last week, but I'm watching these van life people, and they're doing these like their adventures, and it's like it's so hot, and we can't get enough electricity, and all this. You are in Las Vegas in July. What did you think was going to happen? Okay, because I'll tell you this. I also drove through Las Vegas in my van life. You know when I did it? December. It was a cool 60 degrees, and it was beautiful. A little windy, but yeah, you don't drive through Las Vegas and try and van life it in Las Vegas in July. The reason you have wheels on your home is to not strand yourself in extreme temperatures. Okay?
yeah.
Yeah. Wi-Fi, mesh Wi-Fi networks. My friend uses like TP-Link extenders, I believe, and they actually work really well. They have a fairly big house. It's like their house isn't huge, but it's weird angles and directions. It's like it's kind of shaped, if you look at it from the overhead view, it's like a barbell. It's got like hallways and things out like this, and so where their Wi-Fi is, what they are using is just a series of the TP-Link mesh network things. I think they're just plug and play. I can't remember all the details, but they work pretty well. The other thing you could do, I've actually done it before with a Raspberry Pi. You can bridge, you can plug in a separate wireless chip to a Raspberry Pi, select one of them to connect your network and the other one to broadcast the network. So you can do it with a Pi as well.
Yeah. Or you can use a cheap laptop where you have the internet connected to the Ethernet port, and then you use the wireless adapter as an access point.
Yeah. Let's see, looking at TP-Link X20 mesh setup and a gigabit switch. Yeah, that might work for you. How much road construction in December? Very little. Did not see a lot of road construction in Vegas in December. I'm trying to think, when did I see any road construction down there? Probably some in California because it's California.
Yeah, and up here we don't see construction until summertime. It just started up.
Yeah, they're starting to tear things apart in State College, so we have to head north. How is anybody from New York? Is New York gonna stop and frisk me for not getting Fauci juiced? What's their policies up there right now? I know some places there have gone mad. It's got to be something in the water. I'm telling you, both coasts are screwed up.
If you're going to New York, one place that you should visit is Louis Rossmann's shop. So.
Yeah, I'm not going into New York City. Hell no. No, sorry. Much as I like Rossmann, I'd more likely show up at his house somewhere in New England, which I don't know where it is. No, I have to pass through the state of New York to get up into New England. I want to go through New England for, I don't know, a few weeks, month, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, just cut across the Tappan Zee and you'll be in Connecticut.
Into where? Cut into where?
Cuts across through. It's a really narrow point of New York. You go across Tappan Zee and Thames Sea Bridge, and you come into Connecticut at that point. I did that once.
Yeah, I think I've done that before. I was up there before. I went up to Portland, Maine, Very interesting. Coffee shop pharmacy combo. I cannot imagine what it is now, but we've had in State College, we've lost pizza places to become dispensaries. Like, what? At least they weren't dispensaries while they were pizza places, I guess. You know?
Yeah.
Although we had a few of those. If you ordered your pizza right at the one place downtown, they'd slip you a little baggie of something under the pie.
Oh, boy.
Hey, I'm from a college town here. What do you want?
Yeah.
Netgear Orbi router. I've never had good luck with Netgear products, but in fact, I think that is an error I said on my video on, was it Monday when I did Off-Grid Linux? I said I had a Netgear switch. I do not. I have a D-Link switch. I don't know why I said Netgear, but it is a D-Link switch.
If you want a switch that is likely to be easy to have a third-party firmware on, then Linksys are a good bet.
Yeah. Usually they have the entire downtown Las Vegas area under construction during autumn and winter. I did not go downtown. Are you insane? Okay, I do want to know this Razzle review from somebody from there. Have you lived there long? And am I right? Did it like double or triple in size in the last 15 years? And here's why. When I was in Las Vegas a couple months ago, and I didn't know you were from Las Vegas. I would have come into town to visit if I knew you were from Las Vegas. I forgot about that. But I did have another friend who lives in town there, and we went out for a hike, and we kind of met. And I said, hey, like, when did Las Vegas get so big? And he's like, I don't know. I just moved here a couple years ago. I said, oh, all right, well, because I remember driving through, must have been about 10, 15, I think it was 12 years ago. That's what it was. I drove through 12 years ago, and I remember we were just looking for the first hotel, just a small little hotel to stay in overnight. We passed through the Strip because, you know, there were no other hotels until we got to the other side of it. And I do not remember it being absolutely huge, like, you know, 20, 30 miles in diameter. Is that true, or am I just imagining things? Because now we have, if I'm right, we have a double and triple the size of a giant city in the middle of a desert. Stop whining about the low water supplies. I mean, really?
Yeah.
We're going to move into a desert and complain that we can't find enough water. All right. Call Moses. He needs to hit a rock again. Oh, boy. All right. I have hit the bottom of the comments. So I think we'll probably wrap this up here shortly. But anyway, once again, no Christian stream tonight for those that follow along on that channel. And we'll be back tomorrow with the weekly news roundup. And with that, thanks for watching, everybody. And we will see you next time.